Hey guys, so this video we're going to install this aluminum 4-core radiator by AlloyWorks. They were nice enough to send me this for free so I can make this video showing it to you. Now this is for a 67 Mustang, but the process is the same for a lot of vehicles, especially classic cars, and they have different radiators and electric fan setups for just about everything you could think of. You can get just the aluminum radiator if you want to go that route. I went with the full kit because that's just amazing. I've done this conversion on a 66 Caprice and loved it. So when they offered the product, I thought, sure, we'll definitely do that. First off, this is a 4-row radiator, which you get 2, 3, or 4. 4 is the best cooling, so top of the line there. It comes with this all installed. So you get the shroud mounted up. That's a 14-inch electric fan. You got the plug here. We also get the kit, the wiring and the sensor, which I'll open that up and show you here in 1 second. But it comes all installed. The other one I got was a different company, and I had to do it all myself, and it just took a lot longer. So this is nice that it's all ready to go. Now this is set up to be a puller, and I'm kind of wondering on clearance issues because it's not much clearance over there. We'll see how it goes, but I bet you could make it as a pusher as well, because it looks like you could probably do something here, mount it on the other side, and make it a pusher and run your wires the other way. But we'll get to that when we need to. Hooking up our trans lines down here. We have, I'm going to go with valve. We have a valve over here for draining it. And of course where our radiator lines go. Comes with the cap there. Let me show you what comes with this kit here. Everything that was in the little pouch here. So here is your sensor. The black wire goes to that. And then here's our little wiring harness. It comes with the relay, which you need. Also, you're going to hook this directly up to your battery. It has the fuse holder for an inline fuse. It does come with the fuse. It comes with 30 amp fuse, it looks like. You also get your connectors for putting it all together. So red wires go into your battery. Black wires go into the sensor. White wire goes to keyed 12 volts, so this powers on when the key is on. And the blue wire goes to the fan, and then you're also going to have to ground your fan. So black wire is your ground, blue wire goes to blue, and that's it. So to get started with this install, the first thing we need to do, well, the first thing I want to do is get this fan out of here. Which, look how close it is. Now these are going to be 4 1/2 inches. This is what I really like about these Craftsman extra long wrenches, because this is so close. This is like bloody knuckles in here. But once we get on here, the extra long lets us get all the way back. So we can get this guy off. Ratcheting on this end, so it makes it nice and quick. You still got to pay attention to what you're doing though. There it is, one fan off. Now one thing to do, these aren't exactly specialty bolts, but they're the exact bolts you need for this. So I'm going to wrap a tie wrap around these so they stay together, don't lose them. Put it off to the side. You always keep your old parts. So there we are. Keep them all safe and sound. Next thing we're going to do is take off those transmission lines down there. So for me, those are going to be a 1/2 inch. We use this line wrench so we don't round anything off or whatever. Now one thing is you're going to get a little fluid out of those. Not a whole lot, but you'll lose a little bit. So what I like to do is get these vacuum caps, and normally you put around a carburetor, intake manifold, stuff like that to block vacuum. And I'm just going to throw those over the lines, just to keep it from leaking and making a mess. Now if you have a valve at the bottom of your radiator, you can open that up to drain the coolant, the antifreeze. Otherwise, take off your bottom radiator hose and have a bucket ready to catch it. While that's draining, we can go ahead and take off the upper radiator hose. Now, a lot of times when a radiator hose has been on for a long time, it gets stuck there. So get yourself one of these little guys. You can work it up under there, break it free all the way around, and it'll pop right off. Don't stab yourself with that. It'll hurt. We shouldn't have much of anything up here, but I did just run it, so we might. There we go. Barely anything. Gravity. And there's the rest of it. Now there's just 4 bolts holding in the radiator, and we can pop the whole thing out. One old radiator coming out. Before we put the old radiator off to the side, I stole the caps off the AlloyWorks, put it on here, and wrapped it in some electrical tape. Just keep it all sealed up and keep anything from getting into it or anything. Because I was using these fittings and it matches up with my transmission lines, I'm going to go ahead and steal these off of there so I can reuse them on the new one. Don't necessarily need them, but my line's are already bent to work like that, so keep it simple. Now that we're done with the old radiator and it's out of the way, we still need bolts in this guy, but we can't use those long ones for the fan. Those are way too long. So this is where something like this comes in super handy, this bolt and nut thread checker. So I got one of these guys out right here so we can check the thread, and it works for both studs and for a threaded hole like this, and you just screw it on in, and that tells you exactly what kind of bolts you need. And it's printed right on the side here. We need it's backwards though, 5/16 24 thread. So that is a fine thread 5/16 bolt. It's gonna have to be pretty much a shorty. Now we're ready to drop in our new AlloyWorks radiator. We got the top 2 bolts started, and you can see this doesn't quite line up perfectly, so we're going to have to open up this hole a little bit here so we can run a bolt through it. Now for me it's easy to do it this way. Doing it from the other side would be a little bit more difficult. You can make life easier on yourself by lining up the bottom hole and opening up the top one, but that'll be more visible depending on how much you have to do and all that. So anyway, I'm going to do it this way, but we're just going to open that up just a little bit and then throw our bolt through it. Alright, then we'll just do the exact same thing to the other side. Alright, our view from this side all installed. You can see it's close, but we do have clearance there. Go ahead and throw our hoses back on. Got the hoses all back on. I see you got your overflow here, and then we have little brackets so we can run it down. You should probably run it to like an overflow tank at this point, but whatever. I don't have that, so we're not going to hook that up. I don't know what size that is. 5/16 maybe? Totally guessing. I don't know. Let's hook up those transmission lines down there. Got that all hooked up. It's time to start messing with the wiring, so we're going to put in our sensor. Now this is going to have our fan turn on when your coolant temperature gets to 180 degrees, and it'll turn off at 165. This is going to be different for every vehicle. You got to find where you can install this guy, and you probably still want some kind of gauge or something in the car, so multiple locations maybe. Now what's really common, at least on these Ford, right there in the thermostat housing. So we're going to remove that plug and put this guy in. Now we can drop the new one in, and I tighten that down manually. It's not really something you want to put an impact on. Let's talk about this wiring just a little bit so we get all on the same page on how we're hooking it up. Now you can see I have the relay mounted on the fender apron right there. There was a hole already there. I don't know if I drilled that at some point previously, if it's supposed to be there, but my motto in life is when there's a hole, use it. So we have that right there. I brought my fused red wire to this post right here, which is coming right off the battery, and then right here is where I hooked up the white wire. And this isn't a great permanent solution. We'll have to change it a little bit because this isn't staying on well enough. But this is keyed 12 volts. You only have 12 volts with the key on. So you could splice into this wire, maybe get like a skinnier nut or some other way of holding that on there. This might actually push on and have enough tension to just hold the wire there, but you'd hate to be wrong because it's your fans and everything. So, but that is a good spot, just connecting it better. Now the black wire goes to your sensor. And then for the fans, the blue wire goes to the blue on the fan, and the black wire has to get grounded off the fan, this black wire here. If you can't tell, this vehicle does not currently run. So I can't totally show you the happenings, but I do want to show you the fan turning on. So I just did a little temporary setup. I got my ground wire coming up to the ground, and I got the positive wire coming over here. So let's just go ahead and turn them on. So you can see that's going to be a great setup. And when we get it running, it'll be a beautiful thing. So fit really well. We got our clearance there that we needed. We still got to put bolts in here, don't forget that. And mounting it, the relay up on the apron gives us some really good tidiness, you know? It's real short runs for all of our wires. Everything's just right there. Boom, 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 boom. So there it is, guys. Your AlloyWorks electric fan and aluminum radiator conversion. Thanks for watching.